There we are. So today we are going to be talking about transition and the different facets. And for this part of the presentation, I'd like to hear from the transition team that welcomes our students with disabilities into the high school. And we'll start with Karen Melozzo. What are some things that you would want a parent of a middle school child to be aware of when they're making that transition into Ridgewood High School?
I think the first piece of advice would be to give their child time to transition. It is a big change from the middle school to the high school, and it does take some time to do, and I think it can be very scary, but they do a pretty good job. The kids adjust actually really pretty quickly, but if you have any concerns about them adjusting, reach out to your case manager. If it's not the right person, we're always happy to direct parents to whomever might be the best resource for them, but it does take a little while. It's a big transition.
Giselle, can you comment on some of the key people that families would want to be involved with at the high school level?
I think there's a lot of support at the high school level. Your case manager, for anything, you can always contact us and we'll help direct you towards the person you're looking for. If that's not us, you have great advisors that are also sources of support. They're with these students since the beginning. They do a lot of the transitional pieces as they come into the building, and your great advisors with you for all 4 years. They also help with attendance and any other issues as well. They'll help you navigate to who you should be going to. Your guidance counselor is a great source of support. Always any of our principals or vice principals. So I think it gets a little confusing when there are so many supports to choose from, but we're always happy to help and direct you towards the person you're looking for if we're not the right person.
Thank you. Karen, one of the questions was, what are the different components of transition planning between the part of the IEP that's at age 14 versus the part of the IEP that is at age 16? Can you talk a little bit to the I'm sorry, would anyone like to speak to that?
Michelle, I think you went out for a bit. I did not hear anything towards the end of what you were saying.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? So Karen, can you speak to the differences between transition planning language in an IEP at age 14 and versus age 16? I know when we're working with students at the middle school level, and I think by freshman year, most students are turning 14. Is that correct? We're putting language into the IEP during the year where they will turn 14. So during that time, we have to begin the conversation and look at preferences and interests for what the post-school goals are. And then we're able to move from there and develop a course of study that will include the basic goals, instructions, and experiences that help to prepare a child for post-graduation. But age 16 is a very different plan. And I know, Michael Kilcullen, you work on transition plans. Can I ask for you to talk about the age 16 transition plan?
Yes, well, these are more detailed in terms of planning and what's being done to help plan. And by that, I mean ways to discover interests, strengths, preferences, and ways that you're determining goals for life after graduation. And this, experiences such as internships and things of that nature will help with all of that.
How do families find out about those opportunities for work experiences, either internships within the building at the high school or outside of the building?
Well, when entering high school, they're going to meet me and the child study team as well, and they're going to learn through the child study team, myself, and there are also excellent workshops at the Cape Center of Bergen County Special Services I'm sending out emails for events to parents for other opportunities for them to discover this. Also, you know, when you attend something like a transition fair, you'll meet representatives from a variety of organizations such as DVRS. And DVRS is an organization that provides supported employment, will help you obtain and maintain employment. So there are a variety of ways to discover the services for obtaining employment and internships. And I also have contacts that I can connect you with for volunteer opportunities as well.
And just to piggyback off what Michael was saying, those transition programs and pages can look very different based on every individual child, their interests, their needs, where they see themselves after high school. So we really tier it to a very individualized plan. So it's really hard to really hone in on exactly what we can do because it's really driven by the student themselves.
Thank you. I know Laura Freeman. Laura, you've been a part of us developing, along with the rest of the high school team, the 18 to 21 program as we've been moving towards development of it. I'm sorry, I kicked out for a second. Laura, would you be able to comment on what profile of a child might be that remains on for 18 to 21-year-old programming?
Sure, Dr. Fenwick. So a student who would remain with us from 18 to 21 would still require life skills and work skills in their programming and through their goals and objectives. So we would expect that the students would still require work in those areas. So we're really looking at a student who is not a college-bound student, not typically a student who is going to go to further their education in those ways, but a student who's really looking to hone in on their work skills and life skills.
Thank you. Michael, are there other resources that we can offer to families if they view this presentation with these video clips?
Resources for employment and services?
Sure. I think one of the parent questions was, how would they have more information regarding transitions to adulthood?
Well, they can contact me and I can connect them with any number of agencies. I can also begin by giving them just information, again, because it's so individualized to the students' strengths and their interests. I would want to know all of those things to.
So the key is they're really not in this alone. They have you and they have the high school child study team, as well as their guidance counselors and other people to, once they're at this point, they should be not going onto the internet alone and feeling unsupported. They should be going with us together to explore what the individual needs are for their child.
No, I mean, you're right, exactly. I mean, what parents would want to do is get that information from me. That's what my job is.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to thank the high school team for help with the discussion on transition from into high school and then out of high school and beyond. And I'm going to switch our gears back into